He threw a mean punch. He always could, and now he was kneeling over me, all blond and manly and with skin sun-baked as brown as a palmetto bug. Knees on either side of my chest, he pulled back an arm to launch another fist missile. Even so, I couldn't stop laughing. I always cracked up when Rick's emotions took over. I'd seen it plenty of times when we were friends, though rarely aimed my way. However, these past few years since our friendship ended, I was a frequent target. What had once been a brotherly bond had been replaced with fierce loathing, at least on his part. As for me, Rick was still one of my favorite people, even if he was about to lower the boom again. Before that could happen, 2 arms and a long-sleeved white shirt whipped under his armpits, locked him in a full Nelson, and pulled him off. The crowd encircling us groaned in disappointment. "You two should be embarrassed. You're both in your 40s, but here you are, fighting like a couple of hormonal teenagers," the man holding Rick said. I pushed up into a sitting position on the dock. "Hey there, Eddie. What brings you here?" "Shut up, Fitz. I'm saving your ass," Eddie said. The tall black man turned his attention to my assailant. "Calm down, Rick." Rick struggled against the tall detective's grasp, but as strong as he was, Eddie was stronger. In basso tones, Eddie said softly, "You know better than this. Fitz isn't worth it." "I don't need your help," I told Eddie. "I had it under control." That would have sounded more convincing if everyone gathered around hadn't laughed. But the cop is right, Rick. I'm not worth it. Rick Forrester was captain and owner of a 43-foot Chesapeake-style charter boat, Titanic II. His grandfather had named it, reasoning that the odds were long that 2 ships with that name would sink. Rick and I had been best friends ever since we were kids. Back then, Rick's dad called us Tweedledum and Tweedledumbass. The cause of our friendship's demise was well known. Let's just say that when it came to a good-looking woman, I was about as trustworthy as a pickpocket in a pants factory. "Say it again, you bastard, and I'll kill you," Rick shouted. "Come on, buddy." I picked up my sunglasses, grateful they were still in one piece. I stood and slipped them on. "The cops are here. The fight's over. Besides," I touched my tender chin, "you got a good one in." I bent down to pick up a notebook that had fallen from one of the pockets of my cargo shorts. It contained all the words for the wedding service I'd just conducted as a Universal Life Church minister. Not 45 minutes earlier, down by the water, I'd proclaimed 51-year-old wealthy widow Winona Hightower and her 33-year-old heartthrob Matt Byers, cougar and cub. It had been a beautiful ceremony on the banks of the Intracoastal Waterway. Rick, still touchy on the subject of marriages, had shown up shortly after. "That's right," Eddie said. "It's all finished." Rick stopped struggling, breathing like a bear. The onlookers started to walk away.